stop buying mechanical keyboards. Why? Well, the simple answer is there's already better alternatives. And a lot of you probably know or have heard about them already, but I'm actually surprised how many still doesn't know its advantages and why it's better than mechanical keyboards. And that's why I'm making this video. But yeah, what I'm talking about are magnetic Hall effect or TMR keyboards. They're pretty much the same features. TMR is just a little bit better, has a bit more features. But yeah, with alternatives like these existing, you almost have no reason to get a mechanical keyboard over them. Like, why would you get a mechanical keyboard with less features? So for example, one feature that magnetic keyboards have that mechanical keyboards doesn't have is adjustable actuation points. Mechanical switches and mechanical keyboards have a set actuation point distance, and that is the amount of distance you have to press in order to actuate a key. But with magnetic switches and magnetic keyboards, they're customizable. You can set them to as low as 0.005 millimeters I've seen, all the way to 4 millimeters or the deepest distance of your switch. They're so accurate that you can customize them by steps of 0.005 millimeters. I think I also saw some new magnetic keyboards going down to as low as 0.001 millimeters. Like, it is so customizable. Sure, in a mechanical keyboard you can change the switches to change the actuation point, but buying new switches is gonna cost you. Replacing the switches is gonna require some effort. But with magnetic keyboards, it's free to change. You don't even have to download anything in most cases. It's a web-based software you just open and connect the keyboard to, and then you can change it and customize over there. And with mechanical switches, I doubt you'll see anything that goes below. If you try to search online, the lowest is 1 millimeter. But again, with magnetic keyboards, you can go down to as low as 0.01 millimeter or even lower. Oh, and magnetic keyboards also has a feature called the rapid trigger, which enables you to adjust not just the actuation, but the deactuation, the release, the distance where your key deactivates. So those features and customization are amazing for gamers, especially if you want the most responsive inputs. When you're gaming, for example, say you set the actuation point to like very sensitive, so as soon as you press the key, they do actuate. Then for the release, you can also make it very sensitive, so as soon as you release the key, they do deactivate. Very useful for games like CS or Valorant. You know that in those games, while you're moving, you can't really shoot because your bullets will go everywhere. So the first one to stop will be able to shoot first and will have an advantage. And I forgot to mention about the rapid trigger. As soon as you press the key anywhere on the key, so no matter the distance, even in the middle, if you start repressing it in the middle, it will also reactuate the key. Same with the release, since the keyboard can detect when the switch starts going up as soon as possible, so you can make it stop actuating as soon as you lift the key by like 0.1 millimeters or lower. So yeah, you're definitely not gonna miss an input for every key press, which makes it good for spamming too. But okay, let's say you're not a gamer, you just want to use it for typing and stuff. Well, having an adjustable actuation point is also going to be good for you. Again, other than decreasing the distance and making the keys more sensitive, you can also do the opposite, increase the distance, make it less sensitive, so you have to press the key all the way down in order for it to actuate. That will definitely help those who accidentally press or slightly press the other keys that they don't really mean to press. So yeah, helpful for those type of people as well. It's not just good for gaming. And magnetic keyboards also has more features like DKS, mod tap, toggle key, and more. Now, I'm not going to be mentioning all of them in this video because I already made a separate video about that, but I want to talk about one other feature that is only possible because this is a magnetic keyboard, and they call it the DKS feature. It means dynamic keystroke. So again, since magnetic keyboards can detect specifically what distance or how deep you've pressed the key, you can set multiple inputs for multiple distance, multiple depths. Of course, that will be useful in gaming. There's a lot of use, but one of the uses, you can lightly press it and it will input a key that makes you walk, but then if you press it even deeper, it makes you run and sprint. So that's one way to use it for gaming. Again, there's a lot of uses you can use this for. Now, other than gaming though, DKS also has some uses. So for example, let's say you're typing, or in this case, let's say programming. So right, it can enable you to have multiple inputs with just one key press. So in programming, let's say I do a greater than, and then 2 of this, and then this, and then something inside, right? This is pretty common in programming. But if I assign this less than to type all of these instead of just a single less than, I can do that. So look at this. I'll just press it once, and there it is. I can now put whatever I want in the middle. I don't have to press these 4 keys. I just have to do it once. And the good thing about this is I still keep that single less than key. As you can see, it can also be a comma, but if I shift, there we go. It's a less than, a single less than, because I'm not pressing it deep like this, right? So it can be very useful when typing, programming, and not just for gaming. And again, that's just DKS. There's a lot more features you can explore in a magnetic keyboard that mechanical keyboards doesn't have. So yeah, that's one of the first points and biggest points why you should get a magnetic keyboard instead of a mechanical keyboard. It has more features and customizability, magnetic Hall effect or TMR keyboards. Oh, but magnetic keyboards doesn't sound as good as mechanical. Like, I don't like how magnetic keyboard sounds like. Well, if you're talking about the first Hall effect magnetic keyboards, sure, but magnetic Hall effect keyboards nowadays sound amazing. If you've watched my recent reviews, you'll know this, but yeah, here's a few of my most favorite sounding magnetic keyboards. Now tell me that does not sound good. Well, sound can totally be personal preference, but yeah, I think a lot of magnetic Hall effect keyboards nowadays sound amazing. And I'm sure in the near future, they're just gonna sound even better and better and better. Oh, but I still prefer the sound of mechanical switches. They're clicky and their feel is pretty unique. Well, let me tell you about TMR keyboards, which again is pretty much the same as magnetic Hall effect keyboards, but just has a bit more features. Like, it's a little bit more accurate. It also is more power efficient. And the biggest thing, I think, is the cross compatibility with mechanical switches. Yes, you can use both magnetic switches and mechanical switches on a TMR keyboard PCB. Now take note though that if you use mechanical switches, you won't be able to use the Hall effect magnetic keyboard features. I mean, there's no magnet inside of the mechanical switch, so how will it detect the distance? So yeah, but still, now you can use mechanical switches, those clicky blue switches. You can finally put them on a TMR keyboard, and there is a way to still use those magnetic keyboard features, rapid trigger, adjustable actuation points, and it's by applying magnetic switches on specific keys. So for example, WASD, because that's what you use for gaming a lot and you want those to be very sensitive and responsive, then yeah, you can use or do that. And then yeah, you can now use all of the magnetic Hall effect features on that specific key. So yeah, that's my second point. Magnetic keyboard sounds amazing too. Sound and feel is not going to be a problem between magnetic Hall effect or TMR keyboards. And yeah, here's a few more advantages of magnetic Hall effect keyboards or TMR over mechanical. Well, to be specific, the magnetic switches you use. Now, magnetic switches has fewer metal contact parts that can experience wear and tear, oxidation, or corrosion. So durability-wise, magnetic switches are going to be better. They're also going to be more consistent. Again, the more you press them, they're not really going to get worn down. So yeah, overall longevity-wise, compared to mechanical switches, magnetic switches are going to be better. So yeah, with all of those reasons, why not go for a magnetic Hall effect or TMR keyboard instead of a mechanical keyboard? Well, I guess you can argue that magnetic Hall effect or TMR keyboards can be a bit more expensive since, you know, they have more expensive parts than mechanical keyboards. But hey, if you've been around the channel, you know there's a lot of great budget options, cheap options for magnetic keyboards that perform amazing, does not get left behind performance and features wise. They're just amazing value for the price. I'm even seeing some below $20 nowadays. Like, they're so cheap. But yeah, what do you think? Am I wrong? Do you think mechanical keyboards are still better than magnetic? If they are, then please let me know down in the comments the reason why that is, because yeah, I can't really see much reason why you would get a mechanical over a magnetic Hall effect or TMR keyboard. Now I'll be putting all of the keyboard stuffs I mentioned in this video in the description if you're interested. Those will be my affiliate links and I will have some discount codes there, so I would really appreciate it if you can use those. Would really support me and the channel a lot. Subscribe and like the video if you want to see more about magnetic keyboards, Hall effect, TMR, just overall gaming peripherals and tech. And yeah, I pray that this video helped you in some way. I'll go and see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to stay grateful and remember, Jesus loves you. Bye bye.